Ladies, how are you all? Welcome to this week's Elevate Your Business. I'm clearly in different surroundings. I'm in Robert's sister's house. So we could have a bit of noise today because we have the beautiful little Isla here who's trying to take a nap on the couch, and we've Harley running around like a lunatic. So if you hear a bit of noise, that's all it is. But welcome to the new people that are in the group, because I know, again, we have more new people here. So you're very, very, very welcome. Every Thursday, I run this session, Elevate Your Business, and we cover different topics from your mindset pieces, things that really come up for us as business owners, and strategies to grow your business. Because let's be honest, that's what we all want, but we know full well that no strategy will work if you don't have the mindset in place. So today we're going to have a look at how you actually own your confidence so that you can let go of judgments and take the actions that you want to. So for those of you that are new and that you don't know me, I'm Joanne. I am a business success coach, and I show female entrepreneurs, particularly service providers, how to build an audience that's ready to buy, and then how you create your offers that sell. Offers, we often think, are the services that we provide, but they're actually not. It's how you actually connect with people emotionally, so that your sales pitch isn't actually a sales pitch. It's providing value and service to people so that they know that they absolutely have to have it, and they can see why it would transform their lives. So I'm all about the long-term game. I believe that you need to fully set yourself up and move your business in a direction that's sustainable in the long term, so that you can have a viable income, you can have and grow it and scale it to be whatever it is that you want it to be. More often than not, people just focus on sales and forget about everything else, which then creates a backlog of other situations that come up in terms of, well, can I really do this? You doubt whether or not you're good enough. You start questioning all the reasons why you got into entrepreneurship in the first place. So we work through all of that. But today what we're going to do is we're going to focus on your confidence. I was the shyest person you would ever meet. On the outside though, however, my words would have protrude like as confidence. The clothes I would have worn would have, you would have said that I was confident, but inside I didn't say very nice things about myself. I wouldn't put myself in situations where I could be seen, I could be heard, I could be potentially judged, where somebody could ask me a question and I wouldn't know the answer. If there was anything like that going on, I was a firm no. I would feel physically sick. I would stay up all night thinking about it. The thoughts that would run through my head, all the different scenarios that could possibly happen would run through my head, along with all the scenarios as to how I could get out of something would run through my head. And something I've learned from a friend of mine, Michelle Tasco, is that excuses are pre-planned lies, which is completely true. And if I hadn't known that back then, to know that I was actually just lying, would I have taken different action steps? I don't know, but the awareness would have been there that I had the ability to change this, because I believed it's just how I was. It's how I was born. Nothing was going to change. It was like the confidence was for somebody else, not for me. It just wasn't inbuilt in me. Therefore, I was never going to have it. And I've learned over the last 3 years that when you dig down and you work on yourself, you work on your transformation, you work on your mindset, actually your confidence grows, because you get just super comfortable with you get super comfortable with yourself, so you no longer worry about the judgments. So how do you get to that point? Like, the first thing you've got to do is, Harley, please stop. The first thing you've got to do is ask yourself, well, what does confidence look like to you? What is your interpretation of confidence? What do you think it will be for you to feel confident? Like, how do you think you'll behave? How do you think you'll think? How do you think you'll act? So it's important to know what they are and how they look before you can do anything else around it. So what I would recommend that you do is write that out. What does confidence look like to you? Where is it right now that you don't feel confident? And then what's the opposite of that? So where is it that how would you feel confident? So if, for example, like me, the thoughts of speaking in public, the thoughts of speaking in front of anybody, even a group of 3 people, like completely shut down your nervous system. What's the opposite of that? For me, it was, I confidently speak in public. I'm not concerned about anybody asking me questions because I trust in my ability to be able to do it. So flip that. What's the opposite of that? Then what we get to do is actually have a look at, well, what are the judgments? Because when we're worried about other people judging us, they're actually our judgments. They're ours. They're what we think, what we feel, and what we would possibly say about somebody else. or about ourselves. Like, we mightn't say them out loud, but we secretly say them. So you've got to know exactly what the judgments are. So for me, it's that she doesn't know what she's talking about. Oh my God, I can't listen to her voice. She speaks too fast. She speaks too slow. She talks too much. Or she's hyper. I can't even listen to her. So like, what are the judgments that you think people are going to say about you, and list them out. And there's always three things that you always get to be aware of, no matter what you're doing. The first one is awareness, acceptance, and then action. So when you're in awareness, be very aware of what it is that is creating the situation. Then accept that that's the way it is. Just accept it. Don't try and remove it, just accept it. And then take action based on the fact that you know it's there. So let's go back to the judgment piece. What are the judgments that you feel people are going to say or people are going to do that's stopping you from moving forward? It doesn't matter what it is. So like, I'll give you another example. When I first started doing events, my judgments, it's funny to think now that this is what they were, because I don't have them anymore, but I don't have them because I took action. But I want to give you an example. So the very first event I ever created, in terms of big events, like global events, was Moms Making Money series. And I was reaching out to people that I thought were like superstars, you know, in what they did. They would have been high earners, and I was terrified to reach out to them because I was terrified of what they would say. They'd say no to me, what you have to offer, all those fun things. Whereas now, that's not the case at all. You get to flip that on its head. And you get to say, okay, even if that does happen, what's the worst that's going to happen? What is the worst thing that is going to be said about it? And know that they're the judgments that you feel. So like, all the judgments that I felt back then were like that I'm not good enough. What do I have to offer? What can I possibly say? What can they say? They'll say crap. They'll turn me down. They'll reject me. Okay, great. So I fear that they were my judgments. Great. So those judgments are stopping my confidence. Great. Awareness. I accept that that's the case. So I accept it. So now, what action am I willing to take? The fact that I know they're there, I know they exist, I know they're not going anywhere, so what am I going to do? And this is where the flip tends to happen, because you've got to understand what your perspective is on the situation. Are you committed to seeing it through, or are you committed to seeing it through if the conditions are right? Does that make sense? So you've got to be committed to seeing it through no matter what. So once you know those judgments are there, once you know that your confidence is lacking because of those judgments, you can go, okay, what is the action step that I get to take to prevent that and to change that? Because the beautiful thing about confidence is you don't actually feel confident until you build up your competence. How can you build up your competence if you're not taking action on it, right? Because we get confidence from the results that we see. You can't see the results if you're not taking the action and then go, oh yay, I feel confident. It doesn't work like that. So you've got to take the action. Nobody starts off feeling confident. You might be confident in your ability, like, to see it through, or you know, you're confident that it will happen, but you could have all these like bits in between, like all the extra branches that you've got to climb to get there. So if you're committed to seeing it through, so this is where there's different commitment levels. Being committed to fully seeing it through makes all the difference, because then it doesn't matter what's in between, you're going for it anyway. And when you know that, okay, I don't feel confident about this because I feel that this is going to happen, then you get to go, okay, I accept that, and I'm going to take the action anyway. Because even if they do happen, great, I already accepted that they were going to happen, right? I thought they were going to happen. So there's nothing new, right? As long as you're not going to die, nobody else is going to die, and you know, you're not going to go to prison for it. Like, what's the worst that can happen? Somebody can say no to you. Great. Somebody you don't know says no to you. Like, you've got to break it down and then break it into what is the worst thing that could possibly happen. The beautiful thing about being in business is our fears don't actually go away. What happens is we learn to deal with them, we learn to manage them. So I've shared this actually quite a lot this week in terms of what happened to me there 2 weeks ago. I was in floods of tears, like absolute floods of tears, because I was so nervous. My self-doubt, my fears all came back up again. My coach had built out with me my 7-figure business plan. And I got all excited about it, was all caught up in it, going, yes, this is great, this is amazing. And then the next day, the reality kicked in of what it actually was, how on earth I was going to create it, and could I do this? Was I good enough to do it? So all those doubts that I had had before all came back. Every single one of them, and I bawled my eyes out. I sobbed and sobbed and sobbed. Robert had to listen to me. My friends had to listen to me that are in business. I cried. I had to get it out. And what was lovely about that was it was safe for me to release it, because I knew once I released it, it was out. I felt better, and then I was continuing on anyway. So this is why I'm saying that it can't be that you're going to continue on if the conditions are right, because we can't know what we don't know. We haven't created what we haven't created. So it's going to feel scary when we're on the way to do it. Having the people around you that support you on your journey is important. The one thing I'll say to you is, like, your friends who are not in business and family that are not in business, don't talk to them about it, right? So what I mean by that is, I shared this with my mum, and her first thing was, why would you put yourself through that much stress? Like, didn't matter that this is what I want. This is my vision. This is my plan. This is my next level. None of that. It was straight okay of she wanted to protect me and looked after me, and went, but why would you do that to yourself? So focus those kind of conversations with people that are like on the same trajectory as you or at the next level, because they can help you walk you through it. Plus they can also hold the bucket for you so that you can let it all out as you're moving forward, not actually get in the bucket with you and stop you. So these are little fun tricks that you learn along the way. But know that if you don't feel confident right now, if you have self-doubt, if you've got worry, concern, the only difference is if you are stopping yourself from taking action because you feel that, you just haven't elevated yourself to know that actually it's just a change in perspective, to go, these are the areas I don't feel confident in, these are the judgments that I feel that are there, and now that I know them, I'm going to take action, so that you're committed to taking the action. Like, the best way I can describe it is, say for example, if there's a particular area in your business that's holding you back, right, because you don't know how to do it, know that there is always somebody out there that knows how to do it. Always. You do not need to know the answer to everything. There is always somebody out there that you can go ask the questions to. So like when it came to building funnels, I didn't know how to build a funnel. How could I possibly know how to build a funnel? I'd never built one before. But I went looking for somebody that could help me, and I put my feelers out in my network. If, for example, you don't know where to start with building a business, look at all the people that are around you that are doing it. Ask them. There's always somebody that will know the answer. Confidence, I'm going to leave it on this. Confidence comes with competence. Competence comes with completion and following through, so that then you get results, so that you feel confident in what you're doing. So know that. Confidence comes with competence. Competence gives you results. The only way to do that is by taking action. So share below here what bits of this are landing for you, what's really resonating with you, what your takeaways are, and if there's support with something that you want, let me know, and I'm more than happy to help. I'll see you next week.